Hello, everyone, and welcome to Now Spinning, the official podcast of the Lansing Community College Vinyl Record Club. We meet twice a month to listen to vinyl and talk about music. Stay tuned to learn about how you can get in touch with us and attend our meetings. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Now Spinning. With me today, I have
Leo Ackerman,
Jacob Zokvik.
And today we're going to be talking about albums that we've recently discovered that we hadn't listened to until just a couple months or weeks ago or whenever you last heard this.
By the way, who are you?
I'm Simon Medina, by the way. Two episodes in a row. I'm losing it. I'm losing my edge, man. Okay. Anyway, albums. So, Leo, do you have an album for us today?
Oh, you bet I do.
Oh, no. I mean, yay.
All right. So I've been doing a bit of listening this year. You know, I try to keep up with the zeitgeist. The new Mac Miller is very good. The new FKA Twigs is very good. But what has stuck out to me the most is this new band, relatively new band, called Yahweh Nail Gun, and this record called 45 Pounds. They're a New York band with the members Zach, Sam, Jack, and Sagiv. This album is nuts. Like
Right.
Yeah.
So we all listened to everybody's picks for this before the show, and yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, all right.
It's
frightening.
It's scary.
Which is awesome. I mean, that's clearly the vibe they were going for.
Yeah, the album is like 21 minutes long, maybe, and even then, after my first listen, I had to lie down because it was just such an assault on the senses. Like, it feels like you're being smothered when you're listening to it. It's an onslaught. You can't really tell where the guitar ends and the synths begin on that album. They kind of morph into this like acidic sludge almost.
Well, and specifically related to that concept is it does that without ever becoming just like wall of noise. Mm-hmm. It's similar, but everything is still distinct enough to never let you just fully chill out. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of people do the wall of noise concept, and it all just becomes so much that it just becomes one sound. And this is like they did it really well. That it's an onslaught without just being too much. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think what really helps with that is, first off, the production. I think if they were to just go like full wall of noise and have every instrument layered over and over again, super clean, I think it would become very grating. But I think what they opted for instead, based on what I'm hearing, is like a live recording. It sounds like they're not as focused on capturing each instrument individually. They're more focused on the sound in the room and how loud it is and how oppressive it is. Except for the drums. The drums are very clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and you said like you don't know how much they went for perfection, but I didn't hear any mistakes either. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not super perfectionist, super clean, but it's not like they just phoned it in either.
They're a very tight band. Very, very tight band. Especially the drummer.
Mm-hmm. They probably rehearse just all the time.
The drummer, okay. So a big part of what makes this record sound unique to me is the drummer uses what's called rototoms. And I think they were invented in the 1980s to project more in bands. Unfortunately, they don't really sound like normal toms. They're in sort of this uncanny valley between like a melodic instrument and just like a big thwack of a traditional tom. So it almost sounds synthetic, but it is being played live. And that, alongside the sort of like slushy guitars and synths, is just a very strange texture. It's smooth until the vocals come in, and the vocals sound like this dude has either been swallowing bees or been strangled. There's just a lot of really interesting like textural interplay going on, and I think that is another thing that makes the record interesting. Is it's very much about texture and very much about the sensation of the sound on your ears rather than the compositions. They settle into these like locked grooves similar to like a band like This Heat or even a Swans, but with like a dancier like rhythm section. Just, and like I was saying earlier, an onslaught, an attack on the listener, demanding, hey, you're going to listen to this. This is going to be intense. And we don't care if you like it or not.
Yeah, and it's not for everyone, you know. I would recommend everybody go check it out just because it is very interesting. I won't fault you if you don't listen to the whole thing, though.
Yeah. It's a lot. And it's so much. It's so much.
And especially if you like high concept things, you're going to think this is pretty cool because it doesn't get boring. It's short, which helps. But yeah, it's out there.
Not much else like it out there, especially I'll say that is me personally, I've never heard anything that comes near this album in terms of the sound that it's got going on.
In terms of the sound, in terms of the intensity.
Yeah, the emotion behind it, you can tell there's a lot going on there.
Like, there are so few bands right now that I can think are genuinely pushing like the boundaries of rock forward.
Yeah.
I can think of like maybe 3 others off the top of my head, and even then, they don't really come close to this in terms of what they're trying to do. I don't know. I could gush about them forever. I could gush about their EPs because I went back and listened to those after the fact, and they stand up on their own. They're completely different sounding. Like, of course, the rhythm section's the same, the guitars and the synth are also there, but their mastery of like texture is unmatched to me.
Well, and I find it interesting you mentioned the drums, and that's I find with a lot of bands that go for a more high concept or less defined sort of sound. The immediate example I can think of is My Bloody Valentine, which like one of my favorite bands of all time, probably my favorite band of all time, and not really the same sound, and they're not really going for the same thing, but it's a similar idea in that like, what on earth is going on? And the one constant that like reminds you that hey, you're still listening to a rock song is there's just a sick drum beat in the background going the whole time, and you're like, I would have no idea what's going on if somebody wasn't there going like, all right, it's 4/4. Okay, you can figure this out, you know. And that's a really cool thing to recognize just how important rhythm is. Because especially with something like this, you're going to need that to be able to communicate your concepts. You know what I mean? If people don't have a sense of time, you're not going to feel the same when a big change happens in a song or between songs. You know what I mean? That sense of time is huge. And they did it really, really well. And like you said, it must be an amazing drummer.
All of the rhythm across this thing is out of this world. Like, the songs, a lot of them are in odd time signatures, but you don't really notice it on first listen. Like the first one I can think of is, I believe it's Animal Death, Already Breathing. That song is, I believe, in 5/4. I could be mistaken, could be the wrong song, but it grooves like it's in 4/4. It's masterful. I love it to death. It sounds almost like Bill Bruford from King Crimson drums. Especially in like the tone and like how resonant everything is and how it cuts through the mix. I'm gonna cut myself off here. I'm gonna cut myself off here. I gotta let other people talk. Please listen to 45 Pounds by Yahweh Nail Gun.
Yeah, all right. That's a lot. Yeah, interesting album.
We should point out now. Also, this is the only album from the year 2025 that we're gonna mention today.
Yeah, I think.
And that's like that pushing that sound.
Yeah.
But go check it out because new music
cool.
is very important to get into.
I don't know if we've ever talked about anything else that was actually released this year, so that's exciting.
Not yet.
It's very interesting. But of course, the one I'm talking about is from let's say.
1982,
I think. 1982, 1981. Either one of those years. It's something completely different, and that is the album Tu Raye by Dexy's Midnight Runners and with Kevin Rowland. And this is an album that I think I've been now I know it existed because like, you know, the song Come On Eileen, it's the biggest song off that album.
Everybody's heard that song. It's played on the radio all the time, and it's a great song.
I still like it. Yeah,
you've heard it plenty.
Yeah, definitely.
I had never heard another song off this album until today when you told me to go listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I came across like a YouTube video talking about the album, and I listened to it, and I listened to the YouTube video, and it seemed a very, very interesting thing going on. I listened to the album, and it's fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I do want to talk a little bit about like it's also very interesting circumstances by which this band kind of came about. It's sort of a combination of like Celtic folk music and an existing kind of soul revival that was going on in northern England in the late 70s, early 80s, which was like fueled by a lot of like obscure American soul artists who are like zero popularity here in America. Nobody's heard of them, but for some reason they really blew up in northern England, and that kind of developed alongside like the punk scene and the ska scene at the same time. So this band's earlier work, definitely there's a lot more influence from like ska and punk, but this album, they kind of take those elements and they combine it with the Celtic folk music, and they really make something unique with it, I think.
Can I clarify?
Go ahead.
Second wave ska.
Second wave ska, my bad.
It sounds a bit like Madness. It doesn't really sound like the Ska Delights.
No, yeah.
It's very cool to hear that kind of influence, which would eventually make its way over here and become third wave ska.
Oh boy. Yeah. This album, I think, they kind of dial that back kind of compared to the first one, just because they focus a lot more on like the violin more than the horns on this, because the whole Celtic music thing. But I think that it's really a beautiful combination of that with, like I said, like the Celtic music. Like they lean heavily into that. And one thing I noticed just to start, just like the thing that stands out most to me when I listen to this album is just the vocals are just really fantastic, full of energy, like optimism.
But
I just
full
love it
of
a lot.
emotion.
Yeah, emotion, exactly, that kind of thing.
His name is Kevin Rowland.
Kevin Rowland, yeah, Rowland, I'm not sure.
Who's to say? I don't know. I listened to this record also today for the first time.
Nice.
And the first thing that really stuck out to me was Kevin Rowland's vocals. Excellent performance, like on every song. Never phones it in. He's always giving it his all. And the rest of the band too. I mean, the instrumentation is just delightful.
Absolutely.
I do love the violin. And that's like, my next best reference for like a modern take on Celtic music is like Enya, who obviously has great violin bits in a lot of her songs. Very different style, but you can hear it. You can totally hear that similarity, and it's very cool to to get a cultural sort of sense to it while still making a new and modern sound.
Yeah, definitely.
They nailed it.
No, yeah, just like it's just such a strange combination to think about. It's like, was it a second wave ska, like soul music, and then Celtic folk? It's just an interesting blend, I think.
I don't know how ska these guys are or not.
There's a little bit of it. If you listen to their first album, you'll definitely hear a lot more of it. I'll
definitely have to check it out. But yeah, it's like I said, the reference point of like Madness, I can kind of hear it. But yeah, it's such an arrangement. You know what I mean? It's bordering on like Beatles-esque. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
With all the strings and the horns and things.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And then you said there was a specific song in here that you wanted to mention also that you thought was good. Was it the...
Jackie Wilson Said.
Yes.
I heard this song and I went, wait a minute, I know this song. And it does not sound just like the original, but it is similar enough that I picked it out right away. But they did do some cool things with it. So the version of Jackie Wilson Said that I'm most familiar with is by Van Morrison. I assume he wrote the song, but I don't actually know.
Yeah, he did.
But I listened to a ton of Van Morrison when I was like really young, actually. It's one of my parents' favorite artists, even though it's actually a bit before their time even. But yeah, it's cool when a group can do a cover and it still feels very much like the original, but it's still totally their own. And this is one where I'm like, okay, you guys nailed it. It's not that different, but it's plenty different enough, and I do like it.
I agree with that. It's a great cover. Yeah, this album, I just like it a lot. It's very, I'm gonna say it's very uplifting, like musically. Like it's something like you put it on if you're not like having a bad day, you listen to that, it'll make it better. I think definitely.
There's a couple of sadder songs.
Yeah, but of course, but like it's just like generally, it's just like kind of It feels a little bit like, like optimism in the face of adversity. I kind of like that a little bit. Just like kind of that. It's got that going on.
Well, and that's like, if there's a reason Come On Eileen is so famous, it's because of exactly that. That is just such a happy bop.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's great.
Especially in the context of the record. Like, Come On Eileen is a great song. I mean, it's hard to contest it. It's a classic for a reason. It's on radio all the time. I know popular doesn't equal good, but sometimes the masses are right. And in the context of this record, it shines even more. I think it comes after the song Old.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really like Old, but Come On Eileen after that, it's like, oh my God. Like,
yeah.
It hits like a truck. It's awesome. It's like, I don't know, like you were saying, it's great to put on, like if you're having a bad day or if you're just, feeling kind of glum. It's a little treat.
Mm-hmm. Well, and especially, we keep talking about the violins. Song kind of Come On Eileen just starts with that sick violin riff, and violin, famously a sad sounding instrument. It's just, that thing sings, but it is totally capable of being a happy, fun instrument too. And this is a great example of that, where you're just like, yeah,
definitely.
And I think that's highlighted by the genre blend that's going on, because I think if you were to just do like one of these on their own, the violin in each of these might feel off, but because it comes at such a specific point in time where new wave and punk and like second wave ska and Celtic music are blending, everything just comes together naturally. And I think that's really unique about this record, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
that's very great. No, yeah, that's about my thoughts on it as well. Great album. Check it out. You won't be disappointed even if you've just heard the hit off of it. The rest of it definitely stands up to it, I think.
And what is it called again?
2-Rye, but it's like 2-Rye-A-A-Y. It's a great record. Just look up Come On Eileen and then click on the album it's from.
Yeah. It's a good start.
Yeah. Great. Love that album. Great album. So what did you want to talk about? What album do you have today?
So I would like to talk about the artist Afric Simone. The problem is I'm not entirely sure what this album is called. So I did some research before this. Afric Simone is a artist from Mozambique. Was very popular in the 70s and 80s. Very famously made it past the Iron Curtain. Did a ton of shows and had great album sales in places like Romania, Moscow. He did a bunch of apparently huge shows and stuff like that. And shows in America and shows in Europe and stuff too. And I as far as like a genre or something, I would call it like African influenced kind of disco soul sometimes. But specifically the album. So I found this because of a song that was underneath like YouTube video that I was watching, and I was like, that sounds sick. I got to figure out what that is. And after some Shazamming later, I was kicked back to this. So if you look up Afric Simone on Spotify, you'll get an album called Afric Simone. As far as I can tell, that is not an album that exists. What I believe they have is, so I did some looking and I found on Discogs, the New Hits and Remix album. And that's pretty obvious what's happening. So if you go and listen to the stuff from the 70s, a lot of the songs have more traditional instrumentation, but this particular album sounds like a 90s disco track. And if you've not caught it before, I love that stuff. You know what I mean? Give me Will McCoy, give me Sophie B. Hawkins, give me all of it. You know what I mean? It, all ends of that spectrum. Too Unlimited. I know it's corny, but I love it. And this is like that distilled sort of corniness, but with so much extra flavor that it's just incredible. And cool that an artist was able to just, take cultural things like we were talking about before and make them new and continue to do stuff. You know what I mean? By the 90s, a lot of people enter the third decade of their career and they can slow down or just give up. And he kept kicking. He's still kicking. So I was reading on the Wikipedia page. Apparently a shaman from, I believe, Brazil blessed him and told him he was going to live to be 100 years old. He's 85 right now. So I'm expecting a new Afric Simone record sometimes in the next 10 years. At least I'm hoping for it. But yeah, it's an interesting one, especially because, like, again, I just found it by accident, and it's immediately so obscure. And doing research on it does not return a whole lot. And I don't really know where to go to find this. You know what I mean? Like, if I just run down to the record lounge, I don't think I'm going to find this Afric Simone record anywhere. I would be happy with any of them, to be clear. I'll take the ones from 1975. Those are really great too. Go listen to all of his stuff. It is very cool, and not like most of the things you're going to hear. Most of the lyrics are in like Swahili and stuff like that, where, you know, we've talked about African music here before.
Yeah.
You know, like we've talked about Shradi Jazz, one of my favorite jazz albums of all time. That is still very modern sounding. But this, like, it really feels like this is a person that's taking a very modern take, and making it work in a fun way, and not just in a experimental or academic way. Every one of these songs, I just want to dance. So weirdly, like, I hate to be the weird guy here, but the place that I've listened to this album the most, in the shower. I hate the self-care routines. I'm sure so many of you do too. And I need a pick-me-up when I'm in there scrubbing and stuff. And yeah, Afric Simone, it's like so great. And I wish I could go to a club and dance to something like this, because it is just so fun. And, you know, they're all bangers. You know what I mean? If I could highlight a couple songs in particular, Paloma Mama. I'm doing my best impression. I don't know. I don't speak Swahili. I don't even know if that's, some of the songs are in French. I don't know what this one is. But that one is epic, and specifically the version that's on this album, the start of it sounds like he's about to drop a rap track, and you're like, what is going on? And actually, when I was again looking on Wikipedia, they were claiming, somebody had posted on the page, claimed that Afric Simone invented beatboxing, which I'm like,
I could.
well, no, well, yeah,
it's a little bit of it.
I don't know. You know what I mean? At best, maybe a couple people invented beatboxing, but he definitely did things very, very similar to what we would consider like American style beatboxing.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's really cool. And you get the start of songs like Ramaya and Hafanana. I don't know. I might not have had enough Nas on the end of that. But yeah, where it starts and you're just like, ew, what? You know what I mean? And it never really becomes goofy either. It's so sincere and it's so fun. And it never feels like you're listening to something ridiculous. And I love that. I love that commitment to, like, let's just have some fun. Another great song, Hakuna Matata, predates The Lion King.
Those frauds.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Well, and that's, you know, they had to get some Swahili into Lion King somewhere, you know. But Hakuna Matata is, you know, I was a kid in the 90s. I watched Lion King plenty, and I do take some just a little bit of my philosophy does incorporate some Hakuna Matata into it. And this is one where as soon as I heard it, I went, is he saying? Oh no, he's definitely saying that. And it's just really cool to, like, have one other cultural reference point for this phrase, and to realize, like, oh no, it is a thing. Mm-hmm. And people do take this really seriously. And great song. You know, I really like that one. There's another song on there that Hakuna Matata is part of the pre-chorus. It's not in the song title. I don't remember the name of the song. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's a really good one. Highly recommend you go listen to it. It's on Spotify. It's on YouTube Music and stuff. Again, it seems to just be called Afric Simone on those platforms. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who owns the rights to this album, but they're being a little fast and loose with the rules. So if you got any information, if you know where I can get this, let me know. I want it. But yeah.
The only thing I got to really say about this, I mean, I agree with everything you said. You really summed it up. the best.
Thank you.
The one thing I have to add is like the synth sounds are out there, but they never. But you're right, they never become goofy. Like on Ramaya, there's this sound that almost sounds like the Roadrunner taking off noise, like the. And it, but
yes, I was going to mention that.
works.
Yeah, it works though.
But it works. It's so sincere and it's just delightful. It does. I didn't even think about it being like a shower jam, but it would be delightful in the shower.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Again, it's just one of those things that it often becomes dance music for me in the shower. I don't know what it is. I don't dance. I don't sing in the shower. Obviously, I'm gonna go ahead and recommend you don't dance in the shower because that sounds like a major slip hazard. But
Right.
I'm not your dad. Do what you want. But yeah, it's incredible instrumentation, and I don't know who did the remixes. I don't know who's behind any of that synth sound. I don't even know if Afric Simone was involved. I hope he was, but obviously he wrote the songs to begin with, so a lot of it still comes through. But it sounds epic. So I think we're just about going to wrap this up.
Yep, that's about it for today. That was very interesting stuff from both of you. Very different albums, but they're all good in their own way. I would urge everybody to check all of these out at least once and tell me if it's good or not, please. I want to know if I gave a good recommendation or not.
Come to the
please.
record club.
Come
and
to the
tell
record
us.
club and tell us. Yes. Yeah, actually, you should do that.
Bring weird music.
Strange music, absolutely. We meet twice a month. You can check out our schedule, and as well as past podcast episodes, playlists, themes, anything you'd ever need will all be on our website, which will be linked with the show. We are welcoming to anybody at all, really. Even if you've never touched a record before, or you never even bought one, never even thought about it, you're just a music fan.
Never heard music, please come.
Yes, I'd like to meet someone who's never heard music before, just to introduce them to some really, really weird stuff, to see what happens. But that's the place for it. All you have to do to come in is just be willing to expand your horizons musically, and share your own music with other people. That's a really great place, really wonderful group of people. We would be happy to have you if you could come in. Yeah, but that does sum it up for today, I think. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Love you.
Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
Bye-bye.